Alright mates, how's it going? In today's video, chapter 20 of Shadows Rising by Madeline Rue. This chapter's only 5 pages long. Bloody outrageous. Let's go! Apari was currently sat on the cliffs of Zebahari, thinking about and remembering all sorts of stuff. Mainly the fact that she hated kids. She'd never wanted children, so she wasn't that bothered about the fact that she couldn't have children. Not since the accident. Not since a pillar fell and crushed the lower half of her body, pulverising the bones in her leg, because that's where babies come from. Legs. Apari then recalled a conversation she'd had with her childhood friend many years ago. She and Talanji were only 8 years old, watching as new mothers brought their babies to the gardens of the Great Seal, to bless them in the pools that were said to be formed from Razan's own tears. All they do is cry and shit themselves. But father says it's a queen's duty to continue the line. Ugh. When you are queen, you can make your own rules, and you will be there with me. Nobody will tell us what to do. And Apari had believed her. She'd always believed Talanji. She'd believed her when Rastakhan's own advisors turned on him. She believed her when she'd said the Horde could be trusted. Even believed her over her own mother, Yasma. Lower are meant to be used, Apari. Manipulated. They care not for our lives, just as Rastakhan cares nothing for his subjects. But Shadra has never hurt us. Can't we trust her? You've been her priestess all these years. We trust poison, my daughter. We trust information and cunning. Shadra may possess these things, but she is a lower. When given the opportunity, Shadra will always choose what serves her best. And I will do the same. Put your faith in your own hands, Apari. A god is nothing without believers. And we do not have to submit to them, just as we will not submit to a crown that enslaves us to a lower's whims. The very next day after that conversation, Yasma had helped set in motion a coup that nearly toppled the king's rule, and then fallen in battle. If only Apari had listened to her mother. If only she'd seen Talanji and her father for who they truly were. If only she'd gone with her mother that day. Things might have turned out differently, and that regret festered as viciously as the wounds in her leg. Apari's Lieutenant Teo then approached, looking a bit sheepish. They disappeared. How? The they that Teo was referring to were an orc, a panda, some human bloke, and a woman that most Zandalari people would recognise immediately. Jaina Proudmoore, the lady that killed King Rastakhan. Teo had spotted them completely by chance, hanging about on an abandoned ship safely beyond the squall that raged off the Zandalari coast. And Apari had then commanded said squall in an attempt to engulf them and bloody murder the jerks. Now you'd think that Apari would actually kinda appreciate Jaina Proudmoore. After all, she'd succeeded where Yasma had failed. But there was another interesting connection between them that made Apari absolutely bloody hate the bitch. It was during an attack from Kultiran's ships on Zoldazar many years ago that had caused the pillar to collapse on her leg and cause all of these bloody problems for her. So basically, Apari wanted Jaina dead just as much as Talanji did. Apari, more shrines remain. We told the Pale Rider they'd all be burned by sundown. You'll have another chance to kill the Proudmoore woman one day. No, Teo, I won't. I don't have much longer to live. Only enough time to see the traitor queen brought low. That Volpira still be willing to take the leg and save you. Apari glared at Teo, but stopped herself from full-on lashing out and slapping her in the face. No, and we won't speak of it again. One more word and I'll toss you off this cliff. A slight flicker of anger or resentment crossed the troll's face, but Teo said nothing. Simply bowed her head and walked off back towards the rest of the Widow's Bite followers. Apari did have every intention of finishing the task the Pale Rider had set them though. She wrapped her hand around the badge hanging from her neck, the old tarnished trinket that Nathanos Blightcaller had offered as his sacrifice. It thrummed with a strange cold power, and then she turned to face her followers. Widow's Bite, hear me now. The evening comes. Our swiftest runners to the city, our fiercest warriors with me to the Northern Shrine. No rest and no hesitation. One Samdi's pain will be ours tonight. Take it, and let it sustain you. And we're leaving it there! This is definitely one of those chapters that works well in a book, but is difficult to adapt into a video. I like to try and make sure all the videos are like standalone, entertaining, etc. But sometimes you just gotta try and find a way to make a load of flashbacks make sense or something, I don't know. As usual, link in the description if you're interested in buying this book. Also there's links to my Discord server and my Patreon page too. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. And all that's left to say is, thanks for watching, and see ya!